Good day, folks, and welcome back to Sterlinx Global. I'm Arfol, and I'm the founder of Sterlinx Global, a UK-based accounting firm specializing in e-commerce and local businesses. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. If you are new here, thanks for being with us today. On this channel, we discuss various pain points and challenges that our clients usually have. Most of our clients are self-employed, so they either offer services or products. And one of the things that the businesses fear the most is tax investigation. I'm an entrepreneur myself and I'm a risk taker, but hearing the word tax investigation can still have me shaking, just like everybody else. So if you have the same reaction as mine, that's alright, because it's perfectly normal. But you don't have to be scared all the time. We are going to absolutely demystify what goes behind one. That's why for today we'll be discussing how you can prepare your business for tax investigation, since not knowing a thing during one can be a huge problem when HMRC engages in it. Are there tax-related investigations? That's a massive question, right? In the UK, tax investigation is rife. And HMRC has taken a few measures to ensure that businesses pay the right amount of corporation tax, which you might have heard over and over on my other episodes. As a result, they engage in tax investigations and could use a range of tools to verify that companies are paying the right amount of tax. Ensuring that your tax affairs are in order won't put investigations far away from your company. It is important to take the necessary steps to ensure that all tax affairs are in order and that you are paying the right amount of tax, guys. All right, I'm repeating that over and over. It's extremely important. That's why you need an accountant. That's why you need to have the books in place, so anytime HMRC was to knock on your door, you are prepared and ready for it. And that can happen to anybody, anytime. There is no certain guarantee. It is bound to happen to anybody and everybody. It depends. It's a matter of how and when and where. All right, so even if all may appear to work just right, you may not be off the radar just by paying your taxes as expected. A tax investigation is sometimes launched through random selection, and the process can be time consuming and expensive for businesses, especially when you appeal against the decision from HMRC. We'll talk about a few things you should watch out for, as well as the importance of keeping accurate records in order to have you or help you prepare for any investigations you may be expected or unexpected. One question you may be asking here is, why do tax investigations occur? The HMRC is always looking to narrow the tax gap and ensure that all companies pay their fair share. The tax gap is the difference between what the HMRC hopes to collect from you and what is actually gets to them. The difference is between what they're meant to take from you and what you actually pay to them. This is designed to ensure HMRC gets all that it's owed from businesses and corporations. The number of investigations from HMRC is on the rise as the HMRC seeks to maximize its tax receipts. If there is one thing that you should know, is that small businesses are equally in HMRC's sights. You're not excluded. As HMRC looks to crack down on tax avoidance, they may be looking into your tax affairs because you have made regular errors on your returns, or there have been a significant drop in your corporation tax bill over the years. This is usually a red flag and suggests that the company may be avoiding taxes in the UK. There may equally be inconsistencies with industry earnings standards or A director's pay may be questionable due to reasons that are unknown to HMRC. So it's very, very important that you stay clear, keep your accounts clean, and comply with the bookkeeping, as well as making sure the accounts are prepared on a consistent basis properly by a qualified accountant like ourselves. In a sense, any factor could cause an investigation into your company. So while all these are legitimate reasons for HMRC may investigate your company, an investigation could result from random selections as well. So keeping all your bills and payments in order is extremely important, as the HMRC could be looking back up to 20 years, even though they say 7 years. They use sophisticated software to verify payments and other details over a long period. This is an effective tool to enable them to identify inconsistencies in your tax returns, guys. It equally enables them to easily launch an investigation. If you're itching to toss out those receipts, don't do it yet. Sure, you want to declutter your home. I understand that you don't have rubbish, but make sure to check what you're throwing in the bin, as you may still need this during an investigation. The easiest way to do that, which we recommend, simply scanning and saving to Google Drive by categorizing this is the year and that's the type of expense and this is the month it is for. Simple as that. If you categorize your master folder into child folders and keep in Google Drive or Work Drive somewhere in a cloud, and so you can fall back into it in future, that will save you a lot of headache. What goes on in a HMRC investigation? I'm sure you're quite interested to know that. So after HMRC has decided to investigate you, you will receive a letter that asks various questions. So you're obliged to supply HMRC with such information or may automatically risk large fines or prosecution. However, you may equally query the decision by HMRC if they're investigating your taxes and you believe these to be incorrect. Some investigations involve errors that have been resolved or closed. However, others are quite detailed, involving bank or credit cards, which can usually result in a very lengthy process. The majority of investigations equally result in the investigated party paying back some taxes to HMRC. They usually have to have up to 30 days in order to do this or risk fines and prosecution. However, if HMRC finds that the error in question was deliberate, they are likely to prosecute your business. How to take preventive measures so you can avoid all that? In order to prevent you from being investigated by HMRC, there are a few steps you may take. Firstly, make sure you keep organized and accurate records of all your tax dealings, revenues, and expenses. Secondly, make sure that you have a strong understanding of all your research obligations. Finally, seek the assistance of counsel, of a tax or accounting professional in order to better report to HMRC. I'm going to share with you a few things based on my experience here. Now, on a daily basis, good bookkeeping practices will enable you to run your business in an organized fashion. Good bookkeeping practices will ensure you appear in an opposite light to investigations. All your record equally provides you with the intelligence to ward off any investigations. And number two is, if you are audited by HMRC, make sure you have all the adequate records, which can be usually obtained from good accounting software such like Xero, QuickBooks or similar. They will provide the evidence you need to show concerning your payments to HMRC, and any good accounting software should be able to provide you with such records. Is obtaining professional assistance from an advisor recommended? If I was to ask you, would you like to go to a professional advisor? What would you say? So my answer to that would be, whenever HMRC investigates you, do not hesitate to ask a professional for help. Finding the right advisor to enable you to navigate the actual demands of HMRC, it is advisable, and you will equally save time and hassle throughout the process. You should seek help to enable you to decipher why HMRC may be asking for specific information and strategies you could employ to prevent you from paying huge penalties. Before moving on to some of the commonly asked questions, let's do a quick rundown of what we have discussed so far. Tax investigations can happen to anyone. It doesn't matter if you are a big enterprise or a small business. HMRC will investigate you since they may have reason to believe they are collecting less than what was expected from you. Don't worry, you can question that decision and provide evidence to counter it. Sometimes it can be lengthy, other times it isn't. But what I can advise you though, you should always seek advice from a professional, or at the beginning, you should always employ an accountant for your business, either to do smooth bookkeeping for your Amazon, eBay or Shopify business. Even it could be a local business, just like high street business, off license, or a bar or a nightclub, whichever it is, all right? So, and to make sure that you have somebody like ourselves in place who are keeping on top of your books, and that's what I advise. However, if you do want to check us out, go on to sterlinxglobal.com. Right guys, let's talk about some of the FAQs we receive on a day-to-day basis based on the investigations. So number one I can think of is how to cover the costs with investigation services. A good opinion is to purchase the service of an investigator who may charge a monthly or annual fee. By planning effectively, you will avoid paying hefty fines to HMRC, and they will be able to help you account for any shortcomings. So there are like insurance policies in place, as well as other services in place for investigations, or it isn't one-off fee you can go for. Otherwise, to be protected and to eliminate these issues in future, you should sign up with somebody like ourselves with strict bookkeeping and records in place who can handle it when something like that was to ever occur. Right, next question is, what if I have a great recording system in place and I maintain my bookkeeping? So you may as well have all the records as required by HMRC, but rules change and you are required to adjust to any incoming rules around taxation and reporting. Now, these are new rules which can impact even if the best of businesses so keep track of changes in the law. You need to have somebody literally specialist or who actually knows or qualified, who can keep up with all the training and all the information they receive for HMRC, making sure you're meeting the requirements. This is why you employ an accountant, right? What is my last FAQ in the list? What are the costs of an investigation? Right, depending of the nature of the investigation, and the tax investigations can be costly and lengthy. Bear in mind that the longer it goes, the more likely you will pay more taxes. However, some businesses simply rely on their accountant, which is much easier, less headache, and easier to process to overcome that actual obligations that you have. So what's the key takeaway from today's discussions, guys? Let's think about it. I've given you a lot of information, very valuable. The key things I can think of: when in doubt, always find the right tax and financial help. This will save you both time and money. If you are under investigation by HMRC or receive a letter of intent, the advisor you hire will help you to navigate this difficult process and ensure you comply with the tax authorities as needed. This could determine if you pay a fine to HMRC or no. For further professional help during tax investigations, check out Sterlinx Global, and if you still have a few questions of your own, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We are more than happy to answer them for you. I mean, we do have also a community. You can go on our website and on the resources section and find the community link, and you should be able to leave any questions in relation to tax. That's a tax community. more than happy to receive questions from you and answer them on a regular basis. So folks, that's all for today. We hope we are able to give you a bit of an idea about what to expect when you become investigated for tax. Yes, it can be a little scary, daunting, or however you feel about it. I mean, you are not the only one. Our brief guide has somewhat helped you and eased your confusion or worry. If you enjoyed our tips and tricks or want to learn something more similar, please like, follow and subscribe to our media channels. Get the words out there, guys. We are putting a lot of very valuable tax information online for you guys. Again, my name is Arful and I'm from Sterlinx Global, and I hope to catch you at the next one. Thanks a lot.